Hi, sweetheart, it's Rowan, and there's a shirt somewhere that I'm going to put on, but I'm going to try and keep this as quick as possible, because it's been a while since I've posted a video, and I gotta keep this quick, because there's a place I want to go to today. It's a tattoo place, and I want to talk to them about something that I want to do. I'm trying to still decide, so I'm going to be, what's it called? I'm going to be vending at Convergence, which is in Detroit this year, and this is the first year ever it's been in Michigan. If you are unaware, Convergence is an annual mobile convention. It originated with the alt.gothic community, that's alt.gothic, on Usenet, back around 1994, yes, 94, so, and the first one was in Chicago, and so it's like kind of tradition, like the 10th anniversary and the 20th anniversary ones were in Chicago as well, because, you know, gotta honor the first one somehow. And so this is the first year there's ever been a serious bid for Detroit, and it actually won. There was one previous bid for Detroit, back around, for Convergence 16, but some jackass who, I know who he is, and we have a very adversarial history, so he made a bid for it to be in his backyard, and I'm sorry, like, he insisted he was absolutely serious, and I'm like, I don't care, nobody's going to take that seriously. Granted, that was also around the time I'd kind of decided to distance myself from the goth scene for transitioning purposes, but, you know, when I heard about that, I'm like, nobody's taking it serious. Nobody's going to take that seriously. Like, I don't care how many people know you've got a backyard big enough for something of this size, it's not going to happen. It's like... So, like, the only reason somebody would do that is just to be a dickwad, right? So, this year's going to be in Detroit. Like I said, this is the first time there's ever been a serious bid for Detroit. I was actually talking about trying to put together a bid for Detroit, I want to say around 22. I want to say around the 22nd year. But, a friend of a friend, basically, made another bid and won, and... I've got a couple friends who are on the committee, this year. That would be my friend Kim and my friend Heather. Well, one of my friends named Kim. The local Kim, who I'm actually, you know, close enough to. And Heather, who, I can't remember if it's an army base or a naval base, but basically she's a teacher. They've currently got her in South Korea. I don't know if it's because her husband is on there and she's just got a teaching gig as well, or if she's like a teacher through, I don't know the situation, but basically, you know, she's got, you know, she's living on some kind of military base. They've got her in South Korea now, but she and I have actually been, like, you know, personally a little bit closer. She used to be one of my Patreon supporters until something happened with her credit card, and because she's in South Korea, she couldn't get it sorted out over the phone. Hopefully that could get sorted out when she's back in town for Convergence, but, so we're gonna see about that. But, I'm going to be vending this year with my buttons and my jewelry, and I need to start making some jewelry. I've got a few ideas knocking around in my head, but this is a couple of the things that I'll be bringing. Let's see, I made this one. Let me undo the clasp really quick, like. So this is one. I think this is just quartz that's been painted, honestly. I don't think it would be anything, but it's got colors like bismuth, but I've seen bismuth. This is not bismuth. Then there's this one. It's got... get back! It's got a little, scarab charm at the end, and so this, as you can see, Catholic upbringing, I do a lot of rosary-style chain beading, Oh, this is one that I really love. I'm actually surprised this is still in my art fire shop, because I made this, like, for a and I wore it out to a Valentine's Day event at, Factory, Mondays at Tenetco, the closest thing this area has to a goth night. And I wore it out, and I even brought my square in case somebody wanted to buy it for, their partner of some variety. And I'm actually surprised this is still in my art fire shop, because it's one of the least expensive ones I have. So it's probably the least expensive one I've got up right now. Maybe the one with the scarab I've got for a little bit less, but it's the least expensive one. It's one of the least expensive ones I've got up now as far as jewelry goes, and I really love it. I really love it. I don't think I could reproduce it, but it's one of those things. It's like I made it to sell. I wear it out every once in a while because that's good advertising. Then there's this. I love this. This is one of my favorites. It's very long. It's if we're going by the length down to the Y chain, this is somewhere between matinee and opera length. Opera is like just above the navel, but if we go down to the charm, at least on me, it is just below the navel, so a shorter part of, the shorter end of lariat length. I love this one. And, oh, fuck, I'm just showing all the ones I've got made right now. So this is, we've got little, black howlite skulls. Are we going to focus today? Maybe not. But it's little black howlite skulls. And then I've got, iridescent blue scarabs at the decades. And then an ankh at the end. Again, classic rosary length, so, long end of opera, short end of lariat. So I'm going to be vending at Convergence, and my young man I'm cohabitating with, he and I are going to have art in the Convergence show. He's going to have a statue. I'm going to, hello, kitty. I'm going to have my, my little, mixed media shadow box collage, up there as well as a couple of my paintings. Now, I'll definitely do some live video, probably some very short streams while I'm at Convergence, just because it gets kind of boring when you're vending. Even when there's, like, a couple hundred people in and out of the vendor room, for a weekend, it's like, what the fuck? I'm just sitting here. I've vended at a lot of events before, and it's all like, what the fuck? I'm sitting here doing nothing for very little pay. Very little. You always think you're going to make more at these events than you end up doing, but it's fun either way. And, so, very excited about Convergence this year. I'm going to do a countdown to Convergence when we get to April, so, or do I want to do it 30 days before? I don't know. Definitely when we get to April, I'm going to start doing a countdown to Convergence. I'm getting a ride with my friend Kim in her hearse. There's a chance my young man I'm cohabitating with will be coming with me as well. There's a chance. If he does, we have to find somebody to come by and feed the cats while we're out. If he does not get that time off, there is, obviously he's going to stay here and feed the cats, and you're going to see none of him. How much time has this gone? Oh, a little under 10 minutes. Yeah, I think that's all right now. I will... Oh, wait, no, not today. I'll just do a couple of the things I got from the thrift store, and this wonderfully goofy thing I got in the mail, and I'll do the book update, later in the week. So, I was at the, thrift store. Well, first off, yesterday, I went to the post office, as you do, on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, or at least as I do, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And I've got a postmark from Jacksonville, Florida, addressed to me. Somebody went to a lot of trouble to do, this looks like felt tip calligraphy pens, honestly. Yeah, this does not look like, you know, the good ones with the nibs, but, eh. So I've got my P.O. box down in the description box of most of my videos. I think there's a couple where I still haven't updated the descriptions to include everything, and you know you're coming into your own on the Goth Tube and the Pagan Tube, which I haven't really talked much about, when you start getting unsolicited tracts from evangelicals who somehow think this is going to change your mind, somehow. Ah, God. Hell is not a place of sinful companionship. Oh my gosh. Heaven is not a glorified world. Oh shit. What the fuck? Oh god. I think I'm going to put this is definitely going with a collection of some sort. So, if you want to send me mail, and yeah, I'm not going to read this thing. I've gotten things like this before, back when I was on a pen pal list on a couple old goth fanzines and stuff in the 90s. I used to get shit like this all the time. But, you know, if you want to send me, like, more interesting shit, go right ahead. If you want to send me stuff I'll actually, like, you know, use and enjoy, rather than just, you know, for the novelty value of, hey, look what crazy people send me in the mail, do that as well. But before I go, so I was at the thrift store yesterday. I didn't plan to be, but I ended up there anyway, because that's just how my day went yesterday, and a couple days before were, like, really hard emotionally. Like, it ended up with, like, kind of a bit of a nervous breakdown that my young man was very, very compassionate about. In fact, like, he has been better than all of the guys I've been officially dating, and, you know, he is whatever we say we are as far as the relationship goes. It would really be nice if he'd say that, you know, we're boyfriends at this point, but I'm like, you know, we're whatever you say we are, because, you know, I'm so much older, and I don't want to be creepy. And just in case this is your first video from me, I am 38 this July, he is 22 in May. It is nothing terribly creepy. Like, I can take him out to the bars with me, and, you know, not end up corrupting a minor. I can, you know, I did the maths, he's like 3 years short of that half your age, or +7 rule, so, you know, yeah, he's a bit young, but nothing too terrible. So, but yeah, I stopped at the thrift shop, and so the PTO thrift shop in Ann Arbor, out on Industrial Highway, they've got the showcase section, where they've got things that are, like, that's where they put musical instruments that people have donated, which is, you know, wonderful that, you know, people will donate musical instruments that they don't use anymore, so, you know, rather than, you know, resell them for, you know, basically what they're worth, you know, they can donate this, and it goes to the Ann Arbor School District, and, you know, kids who need instruments, you know, for, you know, their own classes, you know, will get instruments. They also put a lot of antiques back there that have been donated. There's right now this gorgeous antique sewing machine with the treadle and the, you know, the old mechanical kind, and I want it, but not only is it currently out of my price range, even for thrift shop prices, I have no way to really get it home. You know, short of, you know, calling up my friend Sarah and saying, hey, I need you to transport more antiques for me. But yeah, it's out of my price range right now. It's like, I might be able to finagle some room for it, but, you know, not high on the priorities. But I did find vintage pressure cooker. Now, I technically already have a vintage pressure cooker. It is pretty much just like this one, except I want to say it's in the area of 5 years newer just looking at the design for the Miro brand, I want to say it's about 5 years newer, but this one, it's red enamel, and my kitchen is done in red. Plus, this one has the has the manual, the optional manual for an extra $1 with recipes and all. So, so that's nice. Oh, and it's got an extra gasket jobby. So that was really nice. I'm going to sell the other one. I could hopefully get about what I paid for this, which was $7.50. And it was at full, price, and it was at full $7.50 because it had just got there the week before, and I'm like, I can't let this get out of my way, especially when I can sell the other one for about the same price. I also picked up, because they do, I just, like, make a beeline for the sterling silver. I've got a deep problem. I love sterling silver. I do. And, I found a sterling silver cat-shaped little ring, keeper. You put the rings on the tail, and he's sitting so cute. And I was looking at him, but you gotta see, he's sitting so cute, and look at that little paw. And so, I've got another cat jobby, and technically, I have a ring keeper, but it's got a swan on it, or something vaguely swan-like, and I don't like it that much. Unfortunately, it's one of those things that's like, if I had an apartment that's one of those converted Victorian houses, I could have a yard sale and sell it that way, so I'm probably just going to end up donating it. It's too new to try and, argue, ooh, this is not good. It's too new to try and argue a price at a vintage shop or antique shop for, so, way too new. So, another thing I got for an absolute steal at $8.50. I still gotta peel the stickum off of this. This is, in fact, like, I knew exactly what this was when I came in, and apparently a couple people, earlier in the week were asking, like, oh, what is that jobby? And, so, this is a metronome, and this is wood. This is, indeed, like, solid wood. I do have another, Whitner metronome, probably about the same age. The one I've got is vintage 60s, and that is West German, I want to say Bakelite plastic. This is about the same age, just looking at, the various little dings and finish and all that. And so you take the front off. Now, like I said, I've already got a metronome, so this is one I'm going to have mostly for display. This is one that's going to be mostly for display, like, in my cabinet, and maybe I might take it out on the coffee table if I'm going to do any live streaming for music, because, I use a metronome with my music. Why? It is pretty much... The metronomes are like, the 17th century... when were they first invented? I don't know when they were first invented, but they're like literally like, the first drum machine ever invented. Think about that. Like, you can even, like, a good one like this, you can even, like, so, you can even, like, set the beats, so, I'll move it up, way up here. I mean, think about that. This is like, the original drum machine. So, when I do music, if you haven't, heard on any of my stuff, which my music is linked below, if you haven't actually heard any of my music yet, it is linked below. I'm on Bandcamp, Ruadhán Music, R-U-A-D-H-A-N, because you can't put the fada over the A on an Earl. Not without really borking up the Earl with all these extra characters. So, so yeah, like, I use this instead of a drum machine when I'm doing, like, solo work by myself. Granted, I use the metronome setting on the automaton. No, that's not the automaton. The omnichord. The automaton is those little things that's shaped like a music note, and they're kind of cute, and I kind of want one, but kind of not. You know, I'd rather have the omnichord. The omnichord is, you know, more interesting. You can do better things with it. So yeah, I'm going to put this in my art curio cabinet, and I don't know, I'll find out what my young man's schedule is like for the week, or at least tomorrow, and go and, and I will do my big-ass book haul. Like, these are all the books that I picked up in, like, from, like, the second week of February. I was really hoping to do one, like, one book haul video a week, but obviously I can't keep to a schedule for the shit, can I? No, I can't. Other things I was hoping to do, since people are talking about, getting, new schedules. So, one thing I was hoping to do, in fact, I was hoping to start it today, but I couldn't because there was some major technical difficulties with the station. I was doing live streams every Tuesday during my show, so about 3 hours, maybe a little bit more, just, as I'm getting shit set up for my show. Excuse me. Especially since we're pitching Convergence, like, we've got an ad partnership with Convergence this year on my station, which I helped, mediate, right? I'm not official Convergence committee, but I've been doing a lot with advertising this last week that it almost feels like I am, but, we'll see what's up with that. So, so I was thinking Tuesdays do a live stream with my show, just, during my show. If I do anything else during the week, I was thinking maybe Wednesdays, do a book video, Friday do, Fashion Friday, and then Sunday I can do a music video, whether it's a live stream of playing something, or, just me singing out on my balcony. Probably just a cover, if I'm going to be singing on my balcony. I'll note if it's original or not. And that's, about it. Just, like, a couple short things a week, plus, live stream, and then, like, a bloggy, talky type thing whenever. As far as what I was going to do, was I going to mention... Oh, right! That's what I mentioned Convergence for. So, because I'm going to be vending at Convergence, I'm just hoping, that I will make back the $75 vendor fee that I paid, and if somebody buys, one of the full rosary length necklaces, that will take care of it. So, if you plan on being at Convergence Detroit this year, bring yourself like $75, $80. I can knock $5 off of it with cash. If you can only do the card, I've got my Square little thing that will attach to my phone. Oh, I can't do live streams from the, during the vendor times, then, can I? No, I can't. I'll do, like a couple live streams whenever, then, during Convergence. Obviously not during my vendor hours. Then what else? So I want to make back my vendor fee, plus, hopefully an extra $50. Ideally, a minimum of my vendor fee times 2. So, I'd ideally like to come home with $150. I will be happy if I came home with $125. I will consider it, a learning experience if I come home with $100. So, but the thing, so, especially if I come back with, my minimum goal of $150, I am thinking I've been thinking for a while of a new tattoo and a new piercing. In fact, I've wanted to get a new piercing since I got my dermals back in August. There was a little bit of trouble with this one, but it seems safe now. I thought, I thought it was, like, popping out a bit. I just, was like really tender around it, for a couple weeks, and having a new shorter bag that's not crossbody seems to have helped a little bit too. I think part of it was just like my bag was just really irritating it, because it was like resting like on, I was very careful while it was still healing, but then it was like resting like right on here for, like about a month or so after the healing period. So, my guess was like the old bag just really was fucking with it. So, obviously I have to carry a lady's purse now, because I need a bag. I genuinely need a bag. I have more shit than I can just get away with a like a wallet in my back pocket, like, a normal man. But I am not a normal man, am I? No, I'm not. So, I was thinking, either the next modification will be a septum piercing, and I have my eyes set on exactly what jewelry I want too, and the stone's going to match, this and these, because, like, when it's, your earlobes, you can just, like, switch that out with anything, and as long as it, kind of, as long as the colors kind of complement, what you've got, in your face, it's good. When it comes to other facial and body piercings, you gotta be coordinated. You really do, or at least have a plan. Like, I've seen people with eyebrow piercings in, like, the 6 different colors on the, on the bead, on the captive beads. They'll have the 6 different colors of the, rainbow flag. So, you gotta have a plan with this. If that just means, have it all coordinated, good. But I like them to match, right? The tattoo, I was thinking, so I was one of I was one of those douchey little kids when, or, teenagers anyway, who was really planning a lower back tramp stamp tattoo in the late 90s, when they were just kind of all over the place. And, simply because it was all over the place, I thought it looked just really cool. And then I found out a couple years later, oh no, that's a girl thing, it's a tramp stamp, it's a girl's, it's a slutty girl's tattoo. And I'm like, So I kind of, got off the idea for a while, and got other tattoos. And then I transitioned, and then I stopped caring about what's going to be perceived as feminine or not. And it's weird how that works out, right? So, speaking of, oh, I liked the way my hair looked for a second there. So I was going to get a lower back, and, Ask a Mortician, Caitlin Doherty, she did this video, I can't remember how far back, because I watched it fairly recently, but I don't remember how old it is. She did this video about the little flying death's head, icon that you'd see on 18th and 19th century headstones, and I want one of those, lower back. I've been thinking about that. In fact, I've been thinking about something kind of like that for a while, so I'm just like, you know what, that's just perfect. And I've wanted one of those, and I wanted a tattoo in that location for about 20 years now. For about 20 years, so might as well do it, right? Oh god, over 20 years. I've been thinking of that since I was 16, so, so yeah, that is today's video. Hopefully I will be able to shoot tomorrow, because I am not coordinated enough to plan these things more than, day of, right? Or film these things more than day of. So, what was I gonna do? Oh, right! I was gonna go down to the tattoo place today, because I talked to, the people at the piercing shop yesterday, and I got my quote on that. And for the jewelry I want, it will be $225. Now, if I only come back with $150, that's okay. I can, figure out, I can figure out the rest out of pocket, or, with whatever my young man is paying for rent. But I wanted to talk to people at the tattoo place and say, here's what I want, here's where I want it, here's about how big it's going to be, because I'm not a very large person, right? I'm really not. I mean, I know there's all of this, but like I said, this is, like, mostly loose skin at this point. I'm going to talk to my doctor sometime this summer, I'm hoping, and see if she can, like, get me a referral to, the plastic surgeon who worked on, well, he did the aftercare for my nipple revision, because the surgeon who actually did the nipple, no. He also did the cyst surgery. Like, I had a cyst here. So if you've ever noticed in here, this was a ganglion cyst, and it was pretty big, and they had it removed, and I had it removed surgically. But yeah, so I'm like, yeah, I know what people think when they see this, you know, looking at me with the dark hair and the ravens, and then there's the scar on my wrist, and they're just like, oh, well, I mean, I was, but I've progressed to an epilator and tweezing out body hair. Like, seriously, that is, like, you know, it's really not much of a self-harm story, but, yeah. So yeah, I'm going to stop filming, put this in the cabinet, put this in the kitchen, put this in my bathroom or on my valet or something, and then haul ass out to Lucky Monkey Tattoo, because that is the place that my piercer referred me to, and oh, I've got such lovely hair. That's my hair routine. I might talk about that in a future video. So, apparently my phone will only let me do half-hour increments at a time, so that, I guess, is a sign that I should wrap up, and I've been doing this far too long. But tomorrow, book video. Friday, outfit video. Sunday, music video. And just because here is Murnau, and I'm annoying him. Yes, I am. Okay, you fly and be free, little kitty. And I'm sorry, but you'll forgive me. He's so forgiving. Alright. Alright, well, I love you all so very much. I do. But I gotta go do things with stuff and all that. And bats and kisses. Love you, dears. Bye-bye.